All right, 49ers fans, buckle up because we are diving deep into everything happening with our team right now. And let me tell you, the energy in the league is absolutely electric. The San Francisco 49ers have been on a roller coaster lately. And as we head toward the final stretch of the regular season, every game is taking on that heightened sense of urgency that you feel in your chest as a fan, the kind that makes your heart race when the Niners take the field. Let's talk about the quarterback dynamics around the league first, because the NFL landscape right now is absolutely wild. Last night, we saw some games that would make any football fan's jaw drop, particularly with the Eagles facing off against the Chargers. It was a matchup full of drama, tension, and ultimately, two quarterbacks who really struggled under the bright lights. Injuries played a role, sure, but watching two seasoned quarterbacks falter the way they did reminds us just how unpredictable this sport can be. For the 49ers, looking at the playoffs and seeing a potential matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles, it raises all kinds of questions and excitement. Think about the secondary watching the game, imagining what it might look like when they're on the field defending against that high-powered offense. It's one of those moments that makes you reflect on the depth, the preparation, and the strategy that goes into facing a team like the Eagles, especially on the road. Philadelphia has that reputation of being tough, hostile, and relentless, which only makes a potential clash with San Francisco more intriguing. Meanwhile, across the league, there's news that is just shocking in its own right, the kind of story that makes you double-check your calendar and think, is this really happening? Philip Rivers, yes, the veteran quarterback we all know, is potentially stepping back onto an NFL field. After 5 years away from competitive play, the 44-year-old is returning to the Indianapolis Colts practice squad. Now, let that sink in for a moment. A quarterback who has been out of action for half a decade, who has experienced the full spectrum of NFL highs and lows, coming back in what could only be described as a surreal, almost cinematic scenario. If Rivers were to start, he would not only make headlines for being one of the oldest quarterbacks to play, but also for the unprecedented gap between his last NFL start and a potential new game. We're talking about a period of 1,800 days since his last start, which eclipses the previous record. The storyline writes itself. A seasoned veteran, a literal grandfather, stepping onto the field in the middle of December to potentially influence the playoff picture, is the kind of scenario that makes the NFL feel larger than life, a sport where history, drama, and unpredictability collide. And it's not just about Rivers. The league is filled with quarterbacks having to navigate injuries, off weeks, and inconsistencies. Names that usually dominate headlines have found themselves struggling, showing us once again that no one is immune to the challenges of this league. Brock Purdy, for instance, has had his ups and downs, and it is important to recognize the patterns of growth and adversity, how a quarterback can have a rough game one week and turn around to perform efficiently the next. The league's unpredictability highlights how much mental toughness and adaptability play a role alongside raw talent. Meanwhile, the 49ers have been making moves quietly, the kind that might not grab national headlines, but have a massive impact on depth and preparation. Garrett Wallow, for example, joining the team brings a wealth of special teams experience. This is the kind of strategic acquisition that adds both reliability and athleticism to the roster without disrupting chemistry, the kind of smart move that reflects the front office's attention to detail. Alongside him, Javon Baker is being integrated into the practice squad, a former draft pick with flashes of talent who now gets the chance to learn under Kyle Shanahan's system. It is the kind of low-risk, high-potential addition that teams make when they are looking to solidify depth for the grind of December and beyond. On the offensive side, the 49ers are entering a critical stretch, facing injuries and lineup adjustments that test the team's resilience. Players like Sterling Benner may be stepping up in the absence of others, while veterans like Eddie Pinheiro are returning to their trusted roles, reinforcing confidence in the special teams unit. The kicker position, often overlooked until a moment of pressure, suddenly becomes a focal point, and having someone reliable back in action changes the mindset of the entire squad. When you combine these strategic roster moves, the evolving quarterback landscape around the league, and the pressure cooker environment of the final weeks, you get a vivid picture of what it takes to navigate the NFL successfully. Every decision matters, from roster adjustments to practice squad elevations, and it all builds toward the bigger goal: playoffs, positioning, and ultimately, a shot at the championship. The dynamics of December football are relentless. The stakes are higher, the games are faster, and the pressure mounts with every snap, every touchdown, and every defensive stand. Fans watching at home feel it in their living rooms. The tension of knowing that one bad play can change the course of a season. For the 49ers, the focus now is crystal clear: maintaining consistency, adapting to challenges, and capitalizing on every opportunity to secure victories that matter. From game planning to execution on the field, from keeping players healthy to managing in-game adjustments, the team's leadership has to consider every angle. The NFC picture is as chaotic as it has ever been, with multiple teams within striking distance of the playoffs, meaning that every game has playoff implications. Chicago, Green Bay, Los Angeles, and the 49ers all have battles ahead, with matchups that could easily swing standings dramatically. The intensity of these contests, coupled with the injuries and quarterback storylines, make for a narrative that is both unpredictable and thrilling. And through it all, the 49ers fan base is watching, analyzing, and debating every decision, knowing that each choice could have a ripple effect. The team's chemistry, the execution of plays, and the management of key positions like quarterback and kicker are all under the microscope. Whether it is a special teams move, a roster adjustment, or a strategic play call, the consequences are immediate and tangible. In this environment, the 49ers' ability to remain poised, adaptable, and focused on the fundamentals will determine how successfully they navigate this chaotic stretch. The league's unpredictability only adds fuel to the fire, where a veteran's return, a rookie's emergence, or a mid-season adjustment can become the difference between victory and defeat. Fans are witnessing the culmination of preparation, strategy, and execution, and every week is a new chapter in the story of this season. As the Niners prepare for their upcoming matchups, the focus is not only on talent, but also on resilience, preparation, and mental toughness. From facing potential playoff opponents like the Eagles to navigating internal injuries, the pressure mounts, and the spotlight shines brighter than ever. It is this high-stakes environment that separates great teams from the rest, and the 49ers are positioned to prove their mettle. The team's ability to integrate new players, adapt to shifting circumstances, and remain consistent under pressure will be critical in these final weeks. Every practice, every adjustment, and every in-game decision contributes to the overall objective, not just reaching the playoffs, but establishing themselves as contenders capable of going deep. The return of key veterans, the management of young talent, and the strategic moves made by the front office all reflect a commitment to excellence. Fans, players, and staff alike are fully aware that the margin for error is minimal, and the intensity of this period of the season is what makes the NFL compelling to watch. Every snap, every decision, and every strategic move has consequences, and for the 49ers, it is a matter of capitalizing on opportunities, learning from mistakes, and positioning themselves for success when it matters most. The landscape is challenging, the storylines are compelling, and the next few weeks will define how this season is remembered, with every game contributing to the larger narrative of the 49ers' pursuit of greatness. As we continue to dive into the whirlwind that is the NFL right now, the San Francisco 49ers are entering a stage of the season where every detail counts, and every matchup carries enormous weight. The Titans are next on the schedule, and this is the type of game that can define momentum heading into the final weeks. Tennessee is a formidable opponent, known for their physicality and strategic execution, which means that the 49ers will need to bring every ounce of preparation, discipline, and intensity to the field. The combination of tactical adjustments, player performance, and in-game decision-making is what will ultimately determine the outcome. For the Niners, the focus is not just on winning a single game, but on building consistency and resilience, especially as injuries continue to shape the roster. Players like DeForest Buckner, Daniel Jones, and Mooney Ward are out, which forces other team members to step up, take on larger roles, and execute under pressure. This is the kind of challenge that can either galvanize a team or expose weaknesses, and the 49ers leadership is well aware of the stakes involved. The strategy on both sides of the ball will need to be precise. Offensively, the team must capitalize on every possession, manage the clock effectively, and protect their quarterback, while defensively, the 49ers have to anticipate opponent tendencies, communicate seamlessly, and maintain relentless pressure. The secondary, linebackers, and defensive line must operate as a cohesive unit, aware of every possible adjustment the Titans might make. Beyond the immediate matchup, the wider league context adds layers of complexity and urgency. The NFC playoff picture is still incredibly fluid, with multiple teams jockeying for positioning and wild-card spots. This means that even a single loss or unexpected performance elsewhere could dramatically shift playoff seeding. For the 49ers, that translates into a need for focus, adaptability, and precise execution, ensuring that every game is treated with the intensity it deserves. Looking at the quarterback landscape around the league, it continues to be unpredictable and fascinating. The potential return of Philip Rivers is a story that embodies the NFL's mix of history, drama, and unpredictability. For the 49ers, understanding the tendencies of quarterbacks, whether it's a seasoned veteran like Rivers or a younger player like Riley Leonard, is crucial. Preparing for either scenario requires careful study of film, adaptability in defensive schemes, and the ability to make in-game adjustments. Every snap against an unpredictable quarterback is a test of awareness, reaction time, and football intelligence. On a broader level, the 49ers roster moves reflect a deep understanding of the importance of balance between experience and youth. Bringing in Garrett Wallow and integrating Javen Baker are strategic decisions that enhance depth and readiness. Wallow's special teams experience allows for a more versatile approach, while Baker's addition gives the offense a fresh option for Kyle Shanahan's schemes. These adjustments, while seemingly minor on paper, can have outsized impacts during high-pressure moments in games where injuries or fatigue become factors. The kicker position, often overlooked until the spotlight shines, has been stabilized with Eddie Pinheiro's return. Having a reliable kicker gives the team a strategic advantage in close games, allowing the coaching staff to make decisions with confidence, whether it's going for field goals in critical situations or trusting the special teams to perform under pressure. This stability contributes to overall team confidence and helps maintain focus across all phases of the game. The unpredictability of quarterback play around the league also serves as a reminder of how fragile and dynamic the NFL landscape is. Multiple quarterbacks who were expected to lead their teams effectively have struggled, whether due to injury, poor performance, or simple inconsistency. Brock Purdy's journey this season illustrates the ebb and flow of performance in the NFL. Turnovers, interceptions, and occasional errors are part of the process, but the key lies in learning from mistakes and building on successes. The 49ers, like all teams, must account for both their own execution and the performance of opponents, adapting to shifting conditions and unexpected developments week by week. Injuries, roster shuffles, and emergent player talent all create a scenario where flexibility and readiness are just as important as raw talent. As December football unfolds, the margin for error shrinks dramatically. Teams that can execute flawlessly under pressure, maintain focus despite fatigue or adversity, and adjust strategies in real time are the teams that thrive. The 49ers coaching staff and leadership have emphasized preparation, mental toughness, and attention to detail, ensuring that the team is ready to handle whatever challenges arise in the closing weeks of the season. Fans watching at home can feel the intensity of this period. Each play, each decision, and each performance is magnified, with ripple effects that could determine playoff positioning. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Bay Area has been humming with a strange kind of electricity, and now the whispers have erupted into something louder. A shockwave rumor suggesting a blockbuster move between the 49ers and the Rams, with Guido at the center of an alleged coup that has everyone in the league talking. According to the growing buzz, the 49ers have supposedly pulled off the unthinkable and secured Davante Adams in a stunning, silent but deadly maneuver that caught even seasoned insiders off guard. Nothing has been officially confirmed by the teams involved, yet the chatter has already spilled across locker rooms, front offices, and fan threads with the force of a tidal wave. What makes the situation even more intriguing is the suggestion that Guido orchestrated the entire operation under layers of secrecy, bypassing the usual smoke trails that insiders rely on. Some claim the Rams were part of a multi-phase exchange whose details remain under tight wraps, while others insist the agreement was more of a political dance, one that might reshape the competitive balance of the division overnight. Observers are already speculating about how Adams could fit into the 49ers' offensive structure, imagining an explosive partnership built on precision, physicality, and the kind of route running that tilts defenses sideways. The Rams' role in the alleged deal remains the murkiest piece of the puzzle. Depending on who you listen to, they either facilitated the exchange, benefited from it, or were blindsided by it. The only constant across reports is that something unusually bold is believed to have taken place, something that doesn't feel like the typical off-season noise. Even veteran analysts admit they're trying to separate fact from the growing mythology, as every hour seems to bring a new layer to the story. For now, fans are left suspended in speculation, replaying every rumor, every hint, every stray comment. If the whispers turn out to be true, it could become one of the most talked about moves in recent NFL memory. If not, it will still go down as one of the most captivating rumor storms to sweep through the league in years. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.